Sanjana, you're going to give me treat. Sanjana got offer, guys. Everybody. Are you joining on Monday?
Actually, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, good, good. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, what are the questions he asked you, Anjana? What are the questions? Did they ask you something difficult or it was easy?
I was telling you that I have given explanation on this EDI claims and all.
Mm.
Did you remember, ma'am?
I forgot. Can you tell that again? What are the specific questions they asked you on EDI
Uh,
claims?
n- no, ma'am. Actually, I was telling the whole from first to last, all the process related to claims, authorizations,
Mm.
enrollment process.
Mm.
So he was keep on listening instead of asking
Ah,
questions.
correct, correct, correct. So
Yeah.
when you explained about all the healthcare terminology itself, he was fine. So he didn't ask you anything.
Actually, he's not. It is like he's not getting understand that
What
what
you're
I'm
telling,
explaining.
what
Yeah,
you are telling, he didn't understand, and
yeah,
then he gave
yeah,
you a
yeah.
job.
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, but that's a healthcare. I mean, it's a healthcare company, or what is that company? I think you sent the offer
Uh,
letter.
yeah,
Give me
it's a healthcare company, ma'am. Actually,
US healthcare. No, okay, good, good.
not US, I think.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. I saw the offer letter now. Okay. Okay, so Sanjana, don't worry. Okay, once you join, okay, let
Mm.
me know what they're asking and
Okay.
which team you're going to. So you'll not be joining from Monday's class because you'll be
Mm-hmm.
joining there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yes,
And you
ma'am.
need to travel to the office
Yes, ma'am. 2 hours.
2 hours from Hyderabad, wherever you live. Okay, good.
Yes, yes,
Oh, I miss all those like trains and buses and then going to office.
ma'am.
I'm here stuck in work from home for last maybe I don't know like 4 years. I miss
Mm-hmm.
like actually seeing people in office. I go like once in a while, and my manager is like, "Don't come." Even I want to go, my manager is like, "Oh, you don't need to come."
They are going to provide bus at Sims, office bus.
Oh, office bus is coming. Okay, good.
Mm-mm.
So when should you be ready? By morning 6:30 sometime?
8 or 7:30. It's
Seven
quite
thirty,
okay. 7:30. Yeah.
and then your office time starts at
9, ma'am.
9. Okay, you okay. That's a good timing. 7:30 is not bad.
Mm. 9 to 7.
9 to 7.
Mm.
Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do after you join is like I've told you, right? Do not ask silly questions to them. Okay.
Okay.
And then don't ask
Okay.
them very like simple questions and all to them. Okay, that's one thing. And then you have to like observe the people's behavior, what they're doing. Some whether they are friendly, whether they are bossy, or whether they are like what kind of people they are. Because you're going to actually sit with them in the office, right? So
Yes,
just
ma'am.
observe, don't talk too much, don't overreact,
Okay.
and then just observe what they're doing. If they provide you KT, that's fine. If they don't provide you also, that's totally fine. You can ping me, and then
Okay.
let me know like what type of project team that you're getting into.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, ma'am.
Because first 1 week I don't think so you'll have enough details, right? So after that, they may be when
Mm-hmm.
you're assigned to a project, let me
Mm.
know. If they're asking you to like document something like a BRD SRS document and all, like
Oh,
you just ping me and then we can have a quick session.
okay, okay, ma'am.
Okay, I think you're good in
Yeah.
documentation, but anyway.
No, ma'am. I think no.
No? Okay. Anyway, this time,
Mm.
like, you're going to perform really well. And don't think
Oh,
like the salary is around, I mean, it's not like expected that what you want to have. But for right now,
yeah.
you have that gap, right? You have a career gap.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yes,
you have
ma'am.
to understand from that perspective. So for just
Mm.
filling that gap, you're going it for now. And then
Mm.
simultaneously, I want you to apply for very big MNCs too, right? Like CTS,
Yeah,
TCS, and
yeah.
also like multiple US healthcare are there. I mean, actual offices are there in Hyderabad. You
Mm.
have BCBS offices there, Cigna's office is there.
Mm.
In Bangalore, we have
Mm.
Elevance Health offices there. Carolyn is
Mm.
there. There are so many
Mm.
US healthcare direct offices are there where you'll be a full-time employee. Package is usually like at least 20 lakhs, more than that only. I know
Mm.
one of
Mm.
my candidate was getting 32 in
Mm-hmm.
in Kerala, 32
Oh,
lakhs. in India, in Bangalore, that person is getting. So it's totally
Oh,
a
okay.
possibility, but don't. For you, the problem is like you're having that career gap. So when you try to get into all these very big companies, they want that background check. So for
Mm-mm.
that, just go for this company for right now. Stay there for 3 or 4 months, and then like in January, right, you can definitely like try getting into very big MNCs.
Mm. Yes,
Sanjana,
ma'am.
how long have you been preparing for the job?
Uh, like I think it's been 6 months.
So
Six
you
months.
created a resume or something, or did you take help of a
Oh,
professional?
oh no. Actually, I've created my own resume with adding on all the skills.
So they don't ask for the reference or anything like for the previous company.
I, actually, I joined as a fresher.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so because you don't have anybody to clear your background, right? That's the issue.
yeah.
So that's
Actually,
why I want.
I have experience, but not having any pay slips and all this.
You are the only one who
Mm.
worked but didn't have base. I don't know who will work for a US healthcare project and then be without. You don't have offer letter, you don't have relieving letter, you don't have pay slips, right?
I have offer letter, ma'am. That's it.
No pay slips. Okay, this time you have
No.
to be very cautious. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're going to, I mean, like save all your pay slips, okay, and your offer
Yeah.
letter. And I saw the offer letter, so it is very good.
Mm-mm.
They've added that business analyst keyword, so that's good. That's what we
Okay.
want. So
Okay.
don't worry on from a money perspective. You
Yeah.
should be able to handle it for next 3 months. But as I told you, like in order for you to go for very high package, the
Mm.
problem with your resume is like there is no pay slips or nobody can clear your background check, right? Otherwise, we can add four
Mm-mm.
years or 3 years in your resume, but there is nobody to clear your background check.
Mm-mm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So now we are going to mimic our stand-up daily stand-up call. So I'm the Scrum Master. So I'm going to ask status on for all the user stories. So let's go with Lucia. Can you give me a status update on your user story that you're working on?
Um, okay. My user stories is the login functionality, and with the username and the SIM card, that two boxes. We have a totally 8 scenarios that we're gonna 8 scenarios, and yesterday our developers finished the 4. So we finished the regular login process with the correct information inputting, and then that's the regular one. And then today we're gonna work on the incorrect information and inputting, which is the wrong account number, wrong car number, and the people doesn't have the SIN number or that number. So we're gonna work on this scenario for today, and then we probably needed 2 business days to finish those 4 scenarios. And yeah, that's how this user stories status.
Okay, good. Do you have any blockers?
We when we were thinking that for the incorrect, like for the people doesn't have the same number, we were going to discuss with our product owner, either that we need to provide the external link on our screen that to guide them to finish that applying for the SIM card process. That's the thing that we need to discuss and clarify with our product owner.
Okay. 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 If you need my help, let me know. Okay. Scrum
All right.
Master's help. Okay. Next, um, Ali, do you want to tell the status of user stories?
So yesterday we discussed the user story with the developer to ensure that there is a that it is technically feasible within the given time frame and constraints. As of now, there is no potential challenges and limitations. Uh, he reviewed the story, so he's going to start working on the story from Monday.
Okay, sounds good. What about Sai Dinesh? Can you tell me the status of your user stories?
Yeah, I discussed with the developers yesterday. We thought of yeah, like building up an API to connect to the OCR technology. We are currently working on it. We'll get back to you.
Okay, sounds good. No blockers, right?
No,
Okay, what about Santoshi? Can you give me the status of your user story? Santoshi is on mute. Okay. What about Sanjana? Sanjana is going to escape from this training. Good.
Oh,
Status of your
no,
user story.
actually, yeah, I'm keep on working on BRD,
Hmm.
and I have just completed only one fourth part
No
of
blockers?
BRD. Oh no.
No blockers. Okay, good. So today we are going to like Raya. Let me take a BRD. Then I'm going to tell you for the same project how to write a BRD. Give me a sec.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking on mute. Okay, so can you hear now?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is like this is a sample like banking project BRD. So we can use the same thing and then we can start writing for our mobile check deposit. So the first thing is like you're going to add the revision history. This is a given. You're going to write your date and the version, and then you are the author, and it's the initial draft. And who's going to approve this document? And then whether what business owners' names, right? What are their names, the title, their date that they are approving, and then you're going to have table of contents. So now we're going to define the scope for this project. So for mobile banking, what do you think is the scope for mobile banking? Mobile like check deposit, right? What's the scope? Based on from your user stories, can you guys like tell me for like the login registration, and then you're going to like scan the check, and then you're going to get deposited, right? And then there is an electronic notification. So these are right now these are the features that are in scope. From that, can you tell me like 3 lines what will be the scope for this mobile check deposit?
Ma'am, one of us is a language. Scope can be a language.
Yes. So if this is only in English or Spanish, right? Both English and Spanish.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
If they're asking for both English and
Both.
Spanish, then we are adding that is in scope.
Yeah.
Correct.
In
Then
scope.
what are the other functionalities that you consider as scope?
Check types.
Correct. The different types of checks, right? We have limitations. For out of scope, we have certain limitations, right? So what are
Yeah.
the checks, types of checks that are in scope for this mobile check deposit? That's a good one. Okay, types of checks,
Then deposit amount should be in scope.
amount also. Okay, let me.
Account selection.
So first of all, you're going to define in scope. In scope is language. That's one in scope item. Then the types of checks. Then you're saying amount,
Yes, deposit amount.
deposit. Yeah. So I mean, you need not tell everything here, but like on a high level, you're going to say what are the scope for this project. Okay. So you're going to define that. Now, when you get into detailed requirements, now we are going to talk from modules perspective. So for us, like, can you tell me what are the different modules? We have a login module, registration module, then we have login module,
Registration.
we have OCR module, and then what else? Email notification,
How about UI? We also have to build a UI for this feature.
UI.
We
Yeah,
have to build a separate UI for this feature, right?
correct, correct. That all that will be coming under registration and login. Okay, and then from a compliance perspective, we are going to display something, right? That's what we had for Santoshi. So we're going to like
Sorry, Pradeep. I thought there will be like transaction processing module or
after the amount is deposited. That's what you're saying.
yeah, and then security module. So will those be separate or
Yeah, you can also add that transaction to third parties as well, right? So transaction modules. And then what is the other one you said?
security module?
Okay, from security and compliance perspective.
And the user guide we created, like an education module or something.
What is that?
The user guide, it is also a module, right?
Display of yeah. So that we can have it as like from a compliance perspective, right? What are the
Ma'am, and it should get internally connected with AC, automated clearing houses.
uh, okay, I mean that's what he's telling about transaction.
Hmm.
After the deposit of the check, that's what you're talking, right? At the back end transactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's
Yes, ma'am.
saying. Mhm. Okay, so well, let's go by module by module. Okay, which is having dependency on which one? Can you tell me the priorities of these different modules? Which is the primary that we have to develop?
Registration module, of
Registration
course.
module.
OCR.
That's the first thing you're going to develop, Sanjana, OCR.
No, no,
No,
registration
ma'am.
module.
Mm. When you have
Registration
all these
module.
different type of modules, tell me the first one that which is the essential one, primary.
Primary one is registration.
Correct. And then login, right? These two are be the
Yeah.
primary. Without that, you can develop all these, but you cannot test,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So first thing is we are going to have a registration page and a login page. In order for us to test all the
Yes.
functionalities, we need to have these two, right? So these two user stories will
Yes.
take precedence over the remaining ones, or we can simultaneously develop, but we cannot test unless these two modules are available, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now for the registration modules, can you tell me how will you write requirements in detail? Now we have all the modules. Now you tell me like how to like write requirements for registration module.
But ma'am, when you said simultaneously, OCR module can be work as a simultaneous.
I mean, yeah, scanning process, extracting data, that all that can be done. We cannot test, that's all. So we can give requirements for OCR. What are the requirements? The keywords, right? What are the keywords from a check? Let me take a sample of a check.
Payer, payer name, payer account number, signature, amount.
Okay, so for OCR module, for that process, for that just the OCR process, what are the keywords? So we are going to like identify
The amount and the account number.
Account number or check number.
mm-hmm,
Next, amount in words.
mm, here, right? Then
Paying, yeah,
mm,
pay name, date,
mm,
signature,
mm,
routing number.
correct. These keyword like requirements, you can give it to the developer. Okay, so
The-
keyword
Okay,
extraction.
yeah.
Okay, so he can develop that. And then what from once the we extract the keywords through an API call, it will be loaded into our system, right? Into our Pega system. Once it is coming to our Pega system, we are going to have member validation, right? We are going to validate. If it's a valid member, then we are going to have a, I mean, if it's valid or not, we'll have a case. But if it's valid, we are going to like automatically approve it, and it's going to go to a different queue. If you find member not found scenarios, member not found scenarios, in that case, you are going to like, so let's say that you're extracting all these keywords, right? You're extracting and you find that member is, we cannot have member, right? Because you're logging into your mobile phone. So of course, our member is a valid one. Let's say that a case needs to be created, but it needs to be routed to a different case. Let's say this is from a third party entity, and it's not from your bank. And this is a check from the third party. So in that case, third party module for third party 2, you're going to extract all the keywords and then you're going to send it to Pega system. A case is going to be created in the backend, but that case will be in pending status. From a status perspective, it is in pending because you're going to like, again, you're going to check with the other systems, right? So let's say if it's an internal transaction, first requirement that you'll give to the developer is if there is a check, irrespective of whether it is same bank or a different bank, if there is any check, these are the 5 different things that you're going to extract. So first, the OCR scanning application is going to look for first name, last name. That's the first thing it will look. Then it's going to look for the amount in wordings as well as in like in numbers. Then it's going to go for the date. So date validation is very crucial. If something says void after 180 days, a check is void after 180 days, so a case should not be created, right? It has to throw an error saying that invalid check. So that validation is there, invalid check due to date, something like that. You have to throw an error. So these are 5 different validations: first name, last name, date, amount, account number, check number, right? And also signature. And in the back also, like back of the check, our customers handwriting, and that signature also, that's also validation. So when we say about keyword extraction, from a keyword extraction, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 extractions. From a signature extraction, 1, and then the back end and in your signature. So 2 signature extractions. Signature extractions, all these extractions requirements you will give. And we can develop this module, but we cannot test, because for testing, right, you need to, from end-to-end perspective, they have to log in, they have to select the deposit, I mean that icon, then it only this OCR process will start. So for end-to-end UAT testing, we cannot test, but the developer can. If you have one person assigned to OCR, just the OCR process, they'll be able to code for this keyword extraction, and they'll be able to send the details through an API to our backend Pega system. That they can do. The second part of the development they can do, but the first part for UAT, it will not be ready, but we can develop this and have it. It can be sitting in SIT. So Ali, you got the point. We can simultaneously develop all these modules.
Pratibha, I was thinking like how, like this is the information that we can extract from check, right?
Mm.
But whether the check is valid or not, that is the next thing, right? Like if I print this check on a paper and try to scan this, is there a way that we can stop that process right away while we are scanning it through OCR?
Yeah, if that's a requirement, that also we can develop. So only the original checks, right? They cannot print on anything. That needs to be a requirement here.
No, I mean, I'm trying to understand how does OCR recognizes if the check is original or a fake one?
I mean, that's up to the developer. So we are not going to do, if that is a possibility, if that is what the requirement is, then they are going to like code accordingly, right? It has to, like, something has to be there. So maybe
Okay,
some, yeah, it's up to them to do it. But from a business perspective, you have to ask with the developer, is the even a possibility, can we even do it? If they say yes, then means it can be done. If they say like no, our OCR process, because there are multiple OCR applications, it's not only one thing. There are about more than like 100 or 200 scanning applications, right, in the market now. So if it depends upon which one they are using. So if the OCR application is able to identify, then we'll have it as a requirement. Otherwise, you're not going to like go and think like how they are going to do it from a BA perspective, whether they'll be able to do it or not. If they're able to do it, I'm going to document here. If they're unable to do it, that's fine. I'm going to tell to the business owner, our developers cannot do it. You're not going to like actually go and write from a coding perspective. You're not going to go and say, right, whether we'll be able. You're going to confirm with the developer. If they are able to code that functionality, is fine. I will document. Otherwise, I have to inform the business owner this is not possible. Okay. So for this module, for login and registration, we know. For OCR process, so these are the validations, and if everything is fine in the backend, the case has to be created. So for other, for example, invalid, let's say invalid scenarios or out of scope scenarios. Okay, for out of scope scenarios, then you're going to write down, like, first of all, when date is expired, that is out of scope. We are not going to process it. Okay, we are not going to process that. And if due to bad
If
scanning,
Yeah, invalid account number.
yes, invalid. I mean, you're asking about your account number, or the person who has given the check, their account number.
Uh, it can be both, or else
I
the
mean, in this
person.
case, in this case, we cannot say invalid because invalid account number will go to the next step, right?
Right,
When they
right. Yeah,
print
that's
this.
what I'm asking, because
But at least we can do this, like, okay, let's say if account number is total 9 numbers in digit, 9 digits are there in the account number. If any of the number is missing, then we can say it's
formatting, correct, formatting issues, right? So it needs to be within, that is also there. And also OCR team can be very
Maybe we can give a range for the account number.
right. So that's there, all that technical details you're going to give. Account number restrictions, right? Format. Okay, so it's going to be up to, or it should not exceed, or it's up to like 10 digits.
Yeah, maybe 10 or 15. Yeah.
What about cancellation on the check? Cancellation.
Cancellation? Abby, you're talking about cancellation on the check?
Yes.
What do you mean by cancellation? Explain the scenario.
Yes. Maybe you wanted to write 8 and you changed it to 0 or something. You know, there are some people, they might want to change some digits on the check. Maybe that one is out of scope.
Yeah, they're overwriting. You're saying about
Because in
overwriting stuff.
Nigeria, if you, because yes, handwriting stuff, like in Nigeria, if you make mistake, you sign on that mistake. So how about on this check? Is there something like that too?
So let's say a scenario where a person is giving you like $5,000, and then now they're changing their mind. They want to give you 6,000, and they're like overwriting this. So they have to sign off on this part, right?
Yes.
That's all manual. The OCR,
Yes,
we
they'll
don't do
sign
that.
on it.
No. For OCR process, we need to have a very clean check. I understand in the bank, if you want to change, you change it, and below that you sign, right? When you officially, if you go to a bank, if you change
Yes,
something,
yes.
below that you will sign, right? Yeah. In OCR, we cannot do that.
Yes,
No.
yes.
All you're talking is like out of scope. Actually, it's one of the out of scope, right? So what we will do is we will reject it, right? Because our system, we cannot identify whether that person is signing here or here. No. So we are going to, like, that's a good question. So depending upon the country use, so multiple signatures. And if there is any like overwriting, we are going to reject. We need a very clear check, right? That's there. Okay, so out of scope can be bad scanning, and then lighting issue. So maybe unable to extract. So when we talk about mandatory fields, what are the, like, without this, I cannot create a case. What are the 5 mandatory fields?
The bank, the payer account number and the payee account number, amount.
So one thing you understand is like this is in customers' mobile banking, right? So this is like they are doing in their application. So we know our customer's number and everything. That's a given. But the person who's writing the check, there, like you said, this account, this information is mandatory, right? All this is mandatory.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's mandatory. First name, last name mandatory, and then amount is mandatory, and then what else? Date is mandatory, signature is mandatory. Apart from that, do you think any other information is mandatory in order for us to create a case in Pega?
Account number?
Account number, yes.
I think that's it.
That's it, right? That's the only thing. So we have to when you're giving the
date is mandatory.
date, yeah, date is also mandatory, and we're going to validate. Okay, so now the OCR team, when they extract all these keywords, they are from their side, they are going to do some kind of validation. So first one is like, if the date is expired, don't create a case. Okay, don't create a case in Pega if you have an invalid check. So, and then if one of these items are missing, please don't create a case. And then if you identify it's not a valid, not a clear check, please don't create a case. If it's bad scanning, don't create a case. If it's overwriting, then don't create a case. All that from their perspective, they are going to reject. Okay. If we have a very clean check, if the OCR team is able to like extract all the keywords, then they are going to send all the details through an API call. And then they're going to submit that information to our Pega system. And then there'll be a case created. Okay, so in the interview, they're going to ask you, explain me your project, tell me about data flow and all this, what you're going to say. So I worked for a mobile banking project, and I worked for this mobile check deposit for this bank, and I was a B, I was responsible for this particular functionality. So this is the data flow is. So the data flow is like you have to the member needs to like actually log into their mobile application, and then they have to make sure that they have a valid check. So once they scan it, like our OCR team is going to like extract all these keywords, and they will submit these keywords through all the information through an API call. When they submit it, there will be a case created in the backend, and if it's internal bank, it's going to be like auto approved to some level, maybe in like maybe 2 to 3 hours it will be auto approved. But if it's a check from a different bank, then a case will be created and the status will be in pending status. Okay, do you understand the data flow for this project that you're going to add in the resume?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that if we um like if the check was given by a third party bank, like some other bank other than our mobile banking one, um, it will take some time for verification because we need it, we need to get validated from some other database, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, if it is not, if it was given by the same bank, then it's gonna take very less time because it's an internal database.
Correct, we'll have that membership, this validation quickly done, because we have our this internal check, right? So maybe within 1 or 2 hours we cannot approve. But if it's
Okay.
going to be external, then a case will be, see, anyway, if they submit, they will get they'll get a case
Yeah,
ID.
case number. Yeah.
Yeah, they will get a case ID for both. So member is not going to know in the back end what we are going to do, but they'll get a case ID, they can track the case ID. But if it's
Okay.
internal, means within like the SLA can be in 2 hours, they're going to get a status, it is loaded, and you can maybe they cannot withdraw, we have already told them they can withdraw like maybe the next day, but if you see the transaction, it will be approved. But for external banks, a case is created, we are giving that case ID to the customer, but if you see the status, it will be in pending.
Okay. Okay.
So it will take 72 hours, 3 business days, and then for that also you're
We
going to give requirements
usually
to.
SLA is the maximum time it may take.
Yes, service level agreement is like within, if you tell them like within 72 business hours, that means 3 days.
Okay. Okay.
3 business days, this check has to be processed or rejected, whatever is the status, you're going to tell it to them.
Got it.
Okay, so okay, what about login module? I think we discussed registration, we discussed earlier. What about from email notification? What do you think? What type of integration in the backend we have to do? What do you think? For email notification, what kind of validation we have to do?
Um,
Basically, in email notification, customer will get to know the deposit status.
Yeah,
Hello?
but see, yeah, correct. So you, in order for us to trigger an email, like in the back end, what do you think the process will be? Do you know the technology?
maybe a case number has to be created and then the mail gets triggered to the registered mail ID.
So the triggering process would be, first deposit the check.
Mm.
So once the check is deposited or into processing, then user can get an email stating that,
Confirmation email. Okay.
yeah.
Once you submit, you're saying they